There you go.
All right. Hello and good morning. Happy Sunday Fun Day. So, my name is Janice Sanborn with eXp Realty, and I have with me today Cara Manter. She is a lender, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in the lending world today. So, with that, Cara, could you introduce yourself and tell us your company and a little bit of what kind of products you offer?
Sure. So, first of all, thank you for having me. I really am appreciative that you had me on today. And happy Sunday to everyone out there in video land. So, there are several types of lenders. There's retail lenders, there's wholesale lenders, there's, your private banks. I am a mortgage broker with the state of Florida, and I work under my own company. I used to work under correspondent lenders. I used to work in retail, but I broke out and struck on my own. So now I need to shop many lenders to help clients with many different options as far as lending goes. You have your A paper clients, you have your subprime clients, you have investor properties, things like that. So I kind of bring the whole world to one business, one shop where they can get many options. My company, I work with A-paper lenders, I work with investor lenders, I work with subprime lenders, commercial lenders. So I kind of have a field of everything.
That's
I
good. Which,
enjoy that.
which helps out a realtor too, because everybody that comes to us is different needs. So it's nice to have
Exactly.
kind of a one-stop shop for that also.
Exactly. So, and also helps the borrowers a lot too, because it's one application, one credit report. It's not multiples this, multiples that, and that can become very frustrating for clients too.
Right. So what are you seeing happening in the market these days?
Well, I will just be honest with you. I have investor clients all over the US, and depending on where you are, I've heard some people say that it's slowing down in their areas. I have a investor client that lives in Missouri, and he's like, yeah, the market was really crazy, but it seems like it's slowing down because he buys a lot of rental properties. I've got other
Sidebar,
referral.
I'm licensed in Missouri also. How funny you said Missouri.
Ah, so I have other clients, in California. They say, good Lord, the market is still just as crazy, and then bring it home to Sarasota. It's like, oh, yeah, well, it's still a seller's market. It's kind of slowing down. So I guess it all just depends on where you live. So,
True. In Florida, I don't know where people are still coming down here by the drove, so we'll probably
yeah,
still do okay.
I love the warm weather.
Oh, I love it too. It's beautiful outside right now. It was kind
Yeah,
of cool this morning, and so it's beautiful, perfect. So
awesome.
what are the current market rates at the moment?
Well, market rates boil down to two factors. So, first, your credit score. So, obviously, the better the credit, the lower the score. And then it also boils down to, your LTV. So, once you get under that 80% LTV, also the better the
And
rate.
in case people don't know, what does LTV mean?
Loan to value. So, I can do loans up to 97% on a conventional side, 96.5 obviously on FHA, 100% on USDA. I can do some investment properties up to 100%, depending on what the investment property entails. So, but then also you're going to look at this way, the higher the LTV, the higher the rate, or the higher the hit in the rate. So it just depends. Again, it's all boils down to those two factors. I will just give you kind of a synopsis. The other day, I had a client that I'd been working with for several months. Started out, their credit score was in the low sixes. They worked on it for the last couple of months. They went from like 4% now to 2.47 something the other day in FHA. So it pays to work at your credit.
And people don't realize it doesn't really. I mean, because my credit, I've done some investing and like jacked up my credit cards, put my credit cards down, did this to that. So your credit can go up and down pretty easily. So it really.
Correct.
Just a couple little tweaks. I mean, then your lender, like you can tell them, you can look at their credit report and say, hey, you probably should just pay off this little thing and your credit will jump up. Right.
Right.
So, yeah.
But it takes a little while for that to happen. Some people think it's going to be instantaneously. It's not always the case. So, a good credit report, when I tell people, then they come to me and I look at their credit report and they say, well, I can pay off this and da-da-da. I'm like, no, wait. Let's analyze the whole situation. And I work with the credit company that it's not credit repair, it's the actual credit people that I pull the reports from. And we have a simulator that we can put stuff in that says, okay, if we did this and then redo it, then yes, it could increase the score. But here's what I always tell people too. If you've got over 640 and you can qualify FHA and you get a decent rate because you have more money to put down or that your spending habits are, it just all depends on the report. I always tell them, don't do anything. Don't quit your job. Don't, pay off a bunch of debt until we run that simulator. Don't change jobs. Don't change bank accounts. Just sit still.
Right. I tell them that too. Don't buy anything. Don't, nothing. Stay
exactly. Yes, exactly.
And so what are these rates right now? What do they mean for buyers?
Well, and this is a good economically experience that we're going through. The lower the rates, the more we're going to spend. And that's kind of, where the economy, they want things to happen is they want people to spend because it puts more back into the economy. So it gets very competitive. And right now with, the rates being so low, I have seen other clients that had multiple offers on a property that got outbidded by, who knows what, because we can't disclose which the bids are. It's only the seller. It's up to the seller. But I've had so many other realtor partners that came to me. It's like, no, we got outbidded. No, this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, But it's just, it gets very competitive. The rates are good, so people want to spend. And obviously, the lower the rate, the more you can afford sometimes in a house, depending on your situation. So
I know that's one thing I found that sometimes people are worried about the price of houses right now, but actually with the interest rate so low, sometimes if they wait, I mean, no one has a crystal ball, but if they wait and the interest rate keeps going up, then they're just going to be able to afford less and less,
Right.
So
because it makes the payment go up.
Right. And then the same thing. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did a comparison for that client that I was telling you about that, they had come back to me after several months. And when I did the comparison, they were like, oh my goodness. It was almost like $1,000 difference from what they were 4 months ago than they are now since they had increased their credit score so well.
Right. Yeah. So it's that's one thing. It's like people shouldn't, like some people like, oh, I can't do it. But if they actually have somebody help them and look at their credit score and tell them what they can do, they'd be amazed what they really can afford and do with just, a little bit of just cleaning up credit and things like that. Exactly. Okay, so the same thing as the rates, what do they mean for the seller?
Well, there again, being in the seller's market with all these competitors trying to buy one house, they're like, oh, yay, well, let's increase the price. So the sellers are like, yay!
Yeah.
I had a very good friend that just sold their house, and it was like they bought it 2 or 3 years ago for $282, and the value, because they were in a subdivision where they were not building that model anymore. And basically, the house had increased to $450. That was ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
But the buyers that came to them were actually outbidded on 5 other houses, and they said, "Nope, this is it. We're done. This is what we're offering you." And they actually offered 10,000 over just to get the house.
I know.
Insane.
I
It's
know.
insane.
I like it. I want it to calm down. I like it when it's a little more even keel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, this time last year, I had a lot of clients that were doing, because the rates were falling and stuff, and it was getting a little crazy in the market, but it wasn't this crazy. It was this year. However, my pipeline was just crazy overflowing, and I was like, well, yay, I love the business. But then I had a similar couple that were bidding in a new neighborhood that a couple of times it took them a couple of houses. So it had actually started almost this time last year. It was just crazy.
Right.
So,
but I have noticed it too, like houses are staying on the market a little longer, and it's just, so anyway, such is life. We keep going on. And so is there anything else that I should have asked you that people need to know?
Well, I will tell you, I'm getting ready to start a video series, and this is going to be basically on the loan process, because so many times first-time home buyers, oh yeah, I want to buy the house, but they get frustrated because they don't know the actual steps and understanding pay stubs, bank statements, W-2s, and what the underwriters are looking for. So I'm getting ready to start a video series for that, so we can work together.
And where can they find that?
I haven't set it up yet, but it's going to be up on my website at funding.com. I'll put a link there as well. But that's going to be like a weekly video series just to help first-time home buyers to understand the process, because a lot of people are still
scrolling along the bottom of the screen, your contact information and stuff, and mine. So if anybody wants to write it down, or I guess, the video saves, so it'll still scroll.
Right.
My first time using this platform. So, hey, I think we did okay. I hope people can hear us.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I appreciate you doing this with me, Cara.
Oh, no problem.
Here's to do a lot of business together.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, have a good Sunday.
And, you too.
Yeah. Wish it was a Sunday fun day, but I have work to do. So maybe I'll get a little fun in. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.